Another video of coffee time with Judge Weimer. Now, Judge Carol Weimer, did you honestly think that we weren't going to put 1 and 2 together and find out why Muhammad was trespassed? Now, I'm finding out that apparently Muhammad was trespassed specifically from the last 2 hearings because you're engaged in ex-parte conversations. Something about you reaching out to a buddy of yours for 30 years that's not a public defender, that's not on the court appointee lawyer, and you're asking him to be Mustafa's lawyer without the knowledge of the prosecutor, that you reached out to this friend of yours and is asking him to be Mustafa's lawyer. Now, how did we find that out? Judge Weimer, did you forget that this is a court of record? That even if you trespass Muhammad, there is a transcript. Judge Weimer, in this video, we're going to talk about the ex parte conversation that you've had with your friend who now you're appointing as Mustafa's lawyer. So we know that you're doing favors for this prosecutor. Now you're appointing your best friend and you're having private conversation with this buddy of yours of 30 years as Mustafa's new attorney. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about why is Mustafa's trial being pushed, and when is Mustafa trial? Judge Weimer, we have a lot to talk about. Judge Weimer, let's talk. Judge Weimer, now, if you thought that you were not going to be held accountable or were not going to file the appropriate complaint for you reaching out to a buddy of yours for 30 years who's not on the public defender list, who's not a court-appointed lawyer, that you just reached out to this lawyer that you know for 30 years and had a private conversation, and you asked him to take on Mustafa's case. Now, if you thought that we're not going to file the appropriate complaint, that this judge is no longer impartial, that it's not just that he's impartial. I mean, we know you're not impartial because for the past 20 months, we've been asking you to enter Mustafa's evidence on the record, and you look the other way. So you take it a step further, and now you have your best friend on Mustafa's case. Now, an ex parte conversation, that's what you're engaged in. What is an ex parte conversation? An ex parte conversation is when the judge, by the way, it's illegal for a judge to partake in an ex parte conversation. An ex parte conversation is the judge reaches out to either the defense attorney or the prosecutor without the knowledge of the two parties. Now, how do we finding out that you're having a private conversation with this new lawyer that is now representing Mustafa? Apparently, you thought by trespassing Muhammad, Mustafa's brother, that we're not going to find out that you're engaged in reaching out and having a private conversation with a buddy of yours and putting him as Mustafa's lawyer. Well, I think you're forgetting, sir, that even though you trespassed Muhammad, and now we find out why you trespassed Muhammad, that even though you trespassed Muhammad, Mustafa's brother, this is a court of record. There's a transcript where, on the transcript, the lawyer that you reached out to says, I got a call from Judge Weimer to take on this case. And this is a personal favor for Judge Weimer. I'm not a court-appointed lawyer. I'm not up on the public defender list, but I got a call from Judge Weimer, and I'm doing this as a favor for Judge Weimer. Now, that's the first hearing a couple of weeks ago. Now, a couple of days ago, we find out that on the record, you explain yourself. You're terrified, you're nervous, and you're explaining yourself. What is this conversation that this lawyer is talking about? And you say that you reached out to the judicial board and you told them that the content of this conversation was nothing but the security of the case. Now, Judge Weimer, we know that there is a DOJ complaint. We know, in light of the police body cams that are coming out to the community, that there is a DOJ complaint and there's an FBI investigation. And you're going to be in question and you're going to be asked, Judge Weimer, are you having conversations, a private conversation, ex parte conversation with Mustafa's new attorney? Did you just put your buddy on this case? You know that you're going to be questioned. You know you're going to be investigated. So what do you attempt to do? On the record, you say, oh, I had the conversation, the content that I had with this conversation is nothing more than the security of the case. Judge Weimer, who are you attempting to BS here? You're attempting to put an alibi for yourself, which is not going to work, because we know and everybody know it's not the judge's job to have a conversation about the security of the case. It's the sheriff department. Your alibi is not going to work. Proper complaints are going to be filed. So you're off this case because for the past 20 months, sir, you have been impartial. You refused to put Mustafa's evidence on the record. Left and right, you're cutting favors for this prosecutor and this Commonwealth attorney. And apparently you have a reputation, sir, that you rule based on friendship. You rule not on the evidence, you rule on friendship. We have a video that I publicized on social media where on one of the judicial reviews, someone came on and talked about what you've done in the past. And here we are again talking about that Judge Weimer rules on relationship, not evidence. I mean, what is this evidence that we're talking about, Judge Weimer? Judge Weimer, for a guy that they say, for a guy that the prosecutor screams that he's guilty, for a guy that all over NBC4, they're saying he's guilty, why is the prosecutor terrified that Mustafa's evidence is going to be entered on the record? Why are you denying Mustafa to have his evidence entered into the record? Mustafa's home videos, it's been 20 months. Mustafa has Google Nest home videos that shows how much he loves his family. You deny Mustafa the option to put the evidence, the home videos, on the record. You're doing a favor for the prosecutor. The prosecutor doesn't want to look at him, and you grant her that option. It's been 20 months. Mustafa's SD cards. Mustafa had the dash camera inside the vehicle that, according to Officer Zymus, now the police department, the prosecutor says publicly that this dash camera does not have audio, but yet they claim that there was an argument inside the vehicle. Now, Officer Zymus with the police department admit that this dash camera on the SD card, that this dash camera does have audio. Now, why is Mustafa denied to have an independent forensic specialist to inspect the SD card and download the audio so we can put it into the record? Mustafa is being denied that. The dash camera clearly show that there is no argument inside the vehicle, that this is nothing but a vehicle accident. But your prosecutor and Julie Carey with NBC4, what do? They chop up the dash camera, clip them together, and blast them all over social media, all over NBC4, that this is a dash camera. Well, unfortunately for you, sir, the dash camera that you sealed, doing a favor for this prosecutor, Now I have the full dash camera that shows that there is no argument inside the vehicle, and this is nothing more than a vehicle accident, a tragic vehicle accident. Now, Officer Zymus with the digital forensic with Prince William County in the discovery that you sealed, but now I have this document says that this dash camera does have audio. Judge Weimer, you're denying Mustafa to have a specialist inspect this SD card. What else? We're asking that in light of the police body cams that are coming out, you seal them to do a favor for this prosecutor. But now we have those body cams. They're being put on social media, and the community is watching. That this is nothing more than a targeted effort to turn this tragic vehicle accident on dash camera. It's a vehicle accident. They want to turn this tragic vehicle accident into something that it's not. And they're charging Mustafa with murder. Now, in light of the police body cams that are coming out, we see that this is a targeted effort. We see that Mustafa has sued the police in the past, and they're out to get him. We're asking that these police body cams are entered in the record. On the record, we want them in. Now, why do we want these police body cam on the record? Because the police reports have been falsified. Every police body cam, the corresponding police report, has been falsified. I have the discovery, and I have the police body cam. And unfortunately for you, we get to have this platform to have a conversation in front of the community. Unfortunately for you, when we're filing DOJ complaints and the FBI is investigating, we have the police body cam and we have the police report, and we have you ruling in circuit court, which is a court of record, that you're lying about Mustafa, that you're doing nothing but you're cutting a favor for this prosecutor and this corrupt Commonwealth attorney, Amy Ashworth. Now, Mustafa's trial is delayed. Now, why is Mustafa's trial delayed? Mustafa's trial is delayed because we're asking for the evidence to be on the record. The prosecutor refused. The judge looks the other way. And we're not going to walk Mustafa into trial without the evidence. I mean, you got the prosecutor screaming he's guilty, but is terrified that the evidence is going on the record. All we want is simple. We want the SD card that has the audio to be extracted by an independent expert. We want the witnesses that we now know, because of the police body cams, have been fabricated and have been tampered with. Your police department have tampered with witnesses, fabricated witnesses. We want their cell phones subpoenaed. We want their emails, communication subpoenaed. We want the investigator cell phone and email communication subpoenaed. As a matter of fact, we're going to take it further that now you're having this ex-parte conversation. We want your cell phone and email communication subpoenaed because apparently you trespassed Mustafa's brother off the property so he doesn't sit in court and find out that you're having an ex-parte conversation, a private conversation, and you're putting your buddy as the defense attorney for Mustafa. What's going on, Judge Weimer? Do you honestly think that you're not going to be held accountable? Do you honestly think that this is not going to be talked about in front of the community and the community is going to connect the dots? Do you honestly think that the Department of Justice and the FBI is not going to be looking into you, sir? Did you honestly think that a complaint is not going to be filed against you, that you're having, not only that you're impartial for the past 20 months, but apparently are having private conversation and putting your buddy as Mustafa's attorney? I mean, the prosecutor is happy about it. I mean, I can only assume that you put your buddy on this case to lie about Mustafa even more. But I'll tell you what, sir, you're betting on the wrong horse. We have the body cams. The body cams are being released. More body cams are going to be released. The Department of Justice and the FBI are going to be looking at everything that you're doing and is going to be holding you accountable. Judge Weimer, I look forward to more body cams and more documents get released. And I always look forward to this segment, which is Judge Weimer, Coffee Time with Judge Weimer.